All right, and we are back live with the Blame Girl podcast with,
Mr. Terry Wayne.
and we got DJ Flash in the house. Welcome, Flash. Or do you just do the Flash?
It's the Flash.
Okay, just the Flash. We got
I
Flash.
wouldn't associate myself with that movie. It didn't do very well.
What?
No, I was hoping it was going to be really good, but I knew it was going to suck.
I'm like,
Yeah. A
Right.
movie just came out called The Flash, and it
Flash, how was your weekend?
didn't do well.
It's still going. Weekends are insane for me because I'm a DJ. I also put on a bunch of hosts, but I'm also a kickboxing coach. So I would say my day starts at like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening and doesn't end until about 2 till morning time. We get a couple naps.
8-hour day. Still an 8 hour.
12, 15-hour day sometimes.
Oh my god.
With naps in between. It's rough, but it's fun. I like it.
So what did you have going on this weekend? Did you have any shows? Or?
Last night I was at the casino at a little speakeasy DJing.
Okay.
Friday I kind of took it easy.
Gotta do that.
It wasn't by choice. I was kind of forced myself. I'm kind of going through a whole life transition. So I turned 49, which means I'm old as shit, and the body's pretty much shutting down. I'm not a 21, 22-year-old, 30-year-old fighter
I
kid.
do not want to hear it because I am right behind you. So
Yes.
I don't want to hear it.
You hit that mid to late 40s, you're screwed.
I'll be 44 next month. So
Yes.
yeah.
Just lean in. Just lean in. I guess
Very
I'm the
hard to
baby.
fit in.
Yes.
I guess I'm the baby at 42, but yeah, just lean in. It's fine.
He's
You
like
know.
a- so.
Just make as much money. There's still 25-year-olds that are digging you. It's fine. Yeah.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about the body falling apart.
He's just trying to keep functioning, and
Yes.
I'm right there with you. I hate waking up with creaks and like, oh. Every time I wake up.
Waking up a nice little pasta dinner and you're sleeping for 5 hours because your sugars aren't absorbing right.
Oh yeah. You wake
fun.
up and you try to walk and your bones sound like the last 10 seconds of microwave popcorn. I know. It's fine.
Indigestion. Okay, we'll stop being old, guys. We'll stop being old. Terry, how was your weekend?
Pretty good. My father's up here now. He just came up. He's gonna be up here for at least 6 months, so that's cool. I like having him around. That's about it. Huh?
6 months.
Yeah.
Who are you staying with?
My sister.
No, because of the baby. No,
No, because of the Parkinson's.
nobody's having a baby. Your niece just got married. That's what it was.
That's what it was. My niece just got married.
Sorry.
No, it's mainly because of his Parkinson's.
Yeah.
But it also makes it a lot easier, for everybody. We're all here now, in this little town. So the idea is we try to take it over like the mob, just pull a real.
In your family town.
That's what I'm saying.
In your town?
That's what I'm saying. It was pretty much all about him coming up and,
Oh, your dad, yeah.
hanging out. Yeah, that's the. I don't think you're paying attention.
The problem is, like, whenever I ask you about your weekend, you don't do anything anymore because he's a grandpa. And I'm like, okay, but what did you do this weekend? That's how I still am. What did y'all do? Did y'all just go to Home Depot or how was it?
No, we got some food. We hung out, caught up a little bit. I mean, that's fine. Isn't that enough? I don't
No.
I don't really feel like I need to be out on the town every night doing some big explosion weekend for my life to have value,
Yeah.
If I quietly contemplate, huh?
I need you to do comedy again, Terry.
Okay.
Please.
I told you what I was doing.
All right.
I told you.
My weekend was fine. Thanks for asking, guys.
Oh yeah.
Nobody cares because this is a bad idea. Nobody wants to hear about our weekends.
But you have something you should be doing while we're talking about this anyway. So
I'm doing
my
it.
weekend was
It's done.
And plus, we're comedians. We want to talk about our weekends and like what shows we did. I do shows still. I'm sorry you don't. I was at actually an open mic on Friday. It's Warren Kirschbaum, who's a friend of the show. We were at off the cuff open mic on Friday. That mic is It's a minute and 30 seconds. It's a lot like Kill Tony, where you go and then they kind of give you feedback right after. So that was cool. And I did it right this time because the first time I just did my set and popped right off. I didn't let him talk to me after. So, and then last night I was at Brick and Barrel in Jupiter. Jackie Sanchez, another friend of the show. And that was a nice room. That room's come along a long way, and it was a sold out show. I had fun. We all had fun, and they had a lot of nice things to say after we were done. And like the owner even came in because he was somewhere else, and they were like, "It's nice to come into a packed house." It's great. So yeah, that was my weekend. All right, grandpas, are y'all ready to start blaming?
Yeah.
All right. First up this week, we have the FDA is not relaxing on relaxers, guys. They're about to ban them in April 2024. Who's to blame?
I would say Black women. Because every Black woman I know, when she gets upset about something, can make change if she wants to. So I think this is a lack of participation. Because if we did the Black Woman Million Man March in Washington to keep relaxers going, I'm pretty sure that would work.
That doesn't make any sense, but I digress.
I know. I'm just trying to make the gag here. I'm making the gag here. Not this is not reality.
Relaxer. No, but Flash, what do you think about this? Did you on this?
Yeah, you had me doing homework at 2 a.m. after getting off of work all night long. So, I mean, is the FDA putting regulations a bad thing or is it a good thing? Because like, I don't know. Like with me, like I'm uber into like longevity right now, and I think we're being poisoned. So, all across the board, our food is all genetically altered now. You have Bill Gates buying out farms, and he just bought out the Bratz apple cider, which means there's no more health benefits to that because he's going to use his fake apples that never go bad. And then Black women with relaxers, which I mean, you don't mess with Black woman's hair. That's rule. Putting poison with relaxers, we're gonna have a bunch of pissed off Black women. That's not a good thing, and I was afraid to go over my Black friend's house because of Black moms, because like they had that white privilege shit. We didn't really get in trouble that much.
Yeah.
So like I'd get chewed out for walking in with dirt on my shoes, and it's a scary situation that we're going through right now.
I mean,
let me tell you something. I grew up with Southern parents. They're exactly the same. So every time I went to a Black friend's house, it was just I was hearing the same stuff I was hearing at home. So felt right at home. Those two cultures are, siblings.
Let a sister comment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
I stopped using relaxers when I was probably about 25 or 26. And I have not gone back. And I knew that it was giving us cancer then. Like, that's why I had a holistic friend, and she was like telling me. And so I cut all my hair off and stopped putting the chemicals in my hair. And when you think about the chemicals that we do put into our bodies, I don't think it stops at relaxers. Like, think about hair coloring, think about all kinds of cosmetics that we put, makeup, and just even like shampoo. Guys don't really care too much, they just use whatever, but it's easy to sell women something. And with relaxers, Black women bought into this because we wanted to fit into the white supremacist beauty standard. We wanted straight hair because that's what society told us. You needed to have straight hair to go to work and to be accepted. So we did that. And once I realized personally it was giving people cancer, I stopped. I started telling all my sisters, stop. My mom doesn't get them anymore. My sister stopped. My cousin stopped. So at this point, I think so many Black women have stopped using relaxers, creamy crack, that hopefully a lot of us will not fall into that category where we're getting the cancer. But I mean, there's so many women that are still trying to fit into those beauty standards to this day. Even though the standards have changed, I'll admit that it's much more acceptable to have your natural hair out now. But back in the day, it was not. You're not getting a job at a law firm with an afro. I can tell you that right now, So
Well, I do. I take a little offense that you say the white beauty standard because I prefer curly hair. Always have. I've been married twice, and both of them curly hair.
fine
So
that you personally prefer it, but the white
yeah,
beauty standard is not set just by Terry Wayne. It's set by society, and you can see what the beauty standard is by looking in magazines, by watching
wow.
TV, and see who they're casting. And now I see a lot more women looking like me, and even more so with their natural hair. Like I have natural hair, but I will still straighten my hair and then like style it afterwards. But it's
Well, the beauty standard set by Terry Wayne is the only one Terry Wayne cares about. What's up? Uh, but I mean, the big question is, if I was going to answer honestly, I mean, we're talking about formaldehyde. That's the same thing that's used to preserve organs and embalm dead bodies. Like we know this shit is crazy toxic. So really, I would blame the FDA. Why hasn't this been outlawed for decades? I mean, this should have been outlawed in the 70s.
They want us to
But
have straight hair, and that's why. And it doesn't matter that it had formaldehyde. Like when you got a relaxer, you knew that shit was bad. It smelled so bad. And then the way
yeah,
it
I bet
was
it
straight,
does because it's
if
got
you
formaldehyde
leave
in
it
it.
in too long, it's like Nair. It'll pull your hair right on out. So it was just a very delicate balance. And I'm just so glad that I turned away a long time ago. And here we are in 2024, and our government's finally getting on board and banning that shit, which it should have been banned a long time ago. So
Now I don't know, like who, who had enough balls to tell black women to relax in the first place. That's what's scary.
Well, it's
that's scary as hell.
maybe
the real crime here isn't that they're
pre-civil
banning
rights.
it.
Oh, okay,
This was
okay.
pre-civil.
Like this,
Like the first black millionaire made hair relaxers. Yeah, Madam
Well,
C.J.
but
Walker.
the real crime here is, first of all, I'm sure there's some people that are pissed. I'm sure there's some black women that are pissed. But you can't tell me that there's no other product, there's no other chemical, there's no other way to make this possible other than formaldehyde. I'm betting it's just the cheapest option, so that's the one they went with. So by banning this, I don't think all hair relaxers. No, I'm saying I don't think all hair relaxers are going to go away. I think it's just they're going to have to replace it with a less toxic chemical that produces the same results. This has more to do with the business side of this than it does with the consumer side of it. The consumer side will benefit. The consumer side will benefit. The business side will hurt, and so they will increase prices, and then in turn hurt the consumer side.
I still say, if you can get away from putting chemicals in your hair, do it. Like, because they even have something that's called a texturizer, which will loosen your curl a little bit. And I started doing those right when I started becoming natural, because you're just not used to your hair being like that. And eventually, I just was like, no, because it still can break your hair off. It's still a chemical, and there's other ways to achieve whatever look you. I'm a sister. I like changing my hairstyles, but you got all kinds of stuff. You got braids, you got twists, you got wigs, you got sew-ins, you got all kind of technology. There's even a new braided and trap technology that I'm gonna probably try.
Just go with the Jada Pinkett Smith look, and you're done. There you go.
Oh, a little alopecia for you?
Yeah, go out and get you some alopecia. You'll be all set.
Y'all like bald head girls?
I think it's sexy as fuck.
Okay.
I think it's sexy as hell. A girl with short hair.
It depends. Some people have a good head for it. Some people don't. Like the one that I remember is the actual G.I. Jane. What was her name? Demi Moore. Looked great with a shaved head. I'd smash every time.
Sinead O'Connor. Oh.
I don't know about Sinead O'Connor, but it works for Jada Pinkett.
This one. What about Candace Owens with bald head? Is she attractive?
Oh, she's still worthy of getting rocked with an elbow, but I wouldn't smash.
These days, a broken clock is right twice a day, and Candace on this one, guys, I don't know that I disagree with her. Candace and Ben Shapiro are arguing with each other over Israel. Now, we've been talking about Israel a lot on here. Who's to blame, guys? Why are these two big time?
I mean,
media.
Anybody who's shocked by this, I mean, his last name is Shapiro, first of all, and he is a devout, Jew.
No one's
And
shocked that he is Zionist. No one.
well, I mean, look, there's plenty of people that we've talked about this ad nauseum with the Middle East issue, and I mean, I understand the plight of both sides, but Hamas still attacks.
Conservatives starting to divest, though. We don't need to talk about our views this week. Why are conservatives starting to disagree, guys?
Because
you're hitting a conservative with a conservative question. Oh, you're gonna get me shot. Oh
no, but why? Why? I mean,
so here's the thing. I think in general, everybody should shut their mouth if they don't know anything about the region, the politics, or the religion. And it's a war older than pretty much every war around, and that people are hopping into. Like, here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of, I see a lot of these social media things from the DJing thing, and you get to see them, and like, you see one day they're pretty much naked, posing their body, and then the next day they're on a picket line saying free Hamas or free. And that's fine, but they would go over there and that shit wouldn't happen. So it's like if you're gonna be political about the thing, at least be political about it.
It sounds like you're saying like you're not gonna be able to enjoy those same rights in Palestine. So why are you
fighting for?
Okay.
But at the same time, it's like everybody has a voice. But if you're not educated about what's going on, like, why the fuck are you even talking? Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
I think that goes the same for people that are just blindly supporting Israel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, young people are
Israeli friends. I have a lot of
the younger you are, the more of a contrarian you're naturally inclined to be. So whatever the mainstream says, you're automatically going to go, well, you're probably wrong about that. Which again, I think conservatives are starting to lean more this way because they're seeing the way that the wind is blowing socially, and since they've lost the last 3 major elections, and it's not looking any better, they're trying to reach out a little bit more, I think. So again, like everything else in this fucking dumbass country, it's politically motivated, has really nothing to do with anything. I support Israel, but I don't support Netanyahu. I think he's way too conservative. I think he's way too war hungry. But that is kind of the American Christian conservative view, is war hungry. It is, go after your enemies. And
conservatives disagreeing. Here's what I think. I think it's interesting that Candace Owens is willing to speak out on the oppression of Palestinians, but refuses to do it for Black people.
Oh yeah.
And she's won money based upon a racial fucking lawsuit, right? So maybe she's doing it for attention now. I don't know.
Could be.
Wrong. Her argument is basically genocide is always wrong.
I mean, it could be because somebody said it great. A small commentator basically said that the American GOP is now taking on the WWE style of politics, which means you create your enemies, you go after them hard. Yeah, and whatever's it's okay to be a villain because sometimes villains are more popular than the heroes, and and that you put that online and tell people they can make money off of it, it's gonna explode. Of course it is. It's a fucking powder keg.
It's a conservative podcast now, and just go make money.
Why? Yeah, and just go make money. That's fine.
Be capitalist. I think you're right. I think there is a WWE style of politics. I mean, that's why we saw a senator try to buck up to a union leader.
Which, how stupid was that? Are you trying to get murdered and buried on a giant stadium? Like, you're insane.
Union's history, dude. Like, he does it because he's a conservative. But yeah, unions.
They got Hoffa. They'll get you.
Fuck people up. So, which, I mean, when they were doing that, the hourly rates were rising, and people had
seriously
insurance.
How embarrassing was that as an American to watch that happen? Because like I've seen foreign news coverage of their houses of parliament and things where they get all rowdy and violent and all this, and I'm like, haha, look at those idiots and that stupid banana republic. And then it starts happening here. I'm like, damn it, we're not better after all. We're not better than them either.
Bernie Sanders broke it up. I'm just saying. That's Maboo.
Oh, burn.
Yeah, he broke it up.
Burn.
You are senators.
Well, and not to mention, Senator Mark Wayne, I believe is his name. You're a former UFC fighter. Do you realize if you go and you hurt this man? Yeah, he is. He's a former UFC fighter. So just based on that, and I'm sure that Flash here can agree, if you go and you seriously hurt this man, that's serious charges because you're considered to be more capable of harming other humans than a regular person without training.
Yeah, but then the union mafia would come after him, and
I'm sure they would, but you're still, even if you like say he fought the guy and put him in a coma, he's going to prison, like real big boy prison.
you know who else might be going to prison soon? You might know him as Puff Daddy, Diddy, Sean Combs.
Oh, Diddy.
Going to jail soon, guys. Basically, this week, bombshell allegations by his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, came out accusing him of sexual assault, rape, all this crazy stuff. And they settled within a day. Who's to blame?
You're to blame. I can't believe you didn't use my segue.
All
right.
I've researched Puffy so much just through the whole Biggie, Tupac, going through the 90s. He's a fucking gangster.
He ain't no good.
He's a gangster. Like there's and then allegedly there's a lot of things tied to him that he's gotten away with. Mm-hmm. But why would she wait so long to start laying down rape allegations? I've dealt with this shit in the past. I've actually been accused of rape of one of my exes who I found out was a prostitute, actually a pretty famous prostitute. I don't know. Remember ShamWow?
Stormy Daniels?
No. Remember ShamWow? The product.
Oh, yeah.
Remember like the infomercial guy?
Yeah. His whole thing.
Prostitute.
Yeah.
Turns out this girl was that prostitute that I started dating. And when I called her on it.
Did she get money?
She went to jail too because she was a prostitute.
Yeah.
And like
prostitutes can be raped.
You think, but when you're dating them,
they can.
And you have consent, and you have pictures, and you have
and
text consent.
People can also lie.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's like
I don't think this is the case of that, guys. I think when it comes to Cassie's situation, you got to understand he got this girl under his wing at 19. This was
here we go.
Systematically fucked this girl up, giving her drugs, flexing his wealth, threatening her career, and she was easy to manipulate because she was so young.
Who cares? You're an adult. You know how many? Okay, you know how many 19-year-olds the U.S. military manipulates into doing what they want? You're an adult. You're an adult. Personal accountability comes into play. Okay, first of all, I'm mad at you already.
No.
Do we know that?
There was one specific time she told him no and he raped her.
What was it proof of that?
I'm guessing I don't know. We didn't go to trial. Flash.
Well,
he settles for $80 million, which
was
in the first place. And I'm gonna tell you why I think he settled. And that's because he already got all this other shit up his ass. Like he killed Tupac. They gonna come after him for Biggie. They are coming for him. So
he didn't kill Tupac. We know who killed Tupac. He confessed.
Hired someone to kill Tupac. He still did it. He is not a good person.
I'm not saying he is, but I want to say this. First of all, I'm mad at you because you didn't use my segue of Diddy's been diddling, but it's fine. I specifically wrote it on there for you. But also that every time I see one of these he said, she said situations, and they're not trying to press criminal charges, they only press civil charges, immediately my BS meter starts kicking up a notch. Because when it comes to money versus actually punishing somebody, because taking
that goes back to when you're assaulter or rapist is someone you know, you're less likely to press charges. That's happened to me. I've been raped by someone I knew that I had consensual sex with too. And I didn't press charges because that's just, especially in the Black community, you're like, oh. And then with Cassie, fucking with Diddy, he was gonna make that stuff go away. She had to be strategic with how she planned on holding him accountable. And if it's just money she got and not charges, good for her. I don't care. I think she went through all the stuff that she said she went through, and shit, pay her.
Well, I do believe that women don't get believed as much as they should, but I also believe that the overcorrection that we've seen in the last 10 years over this is given too much power to say, well, all I have to do is say something. I was in the general vicinity of this person. I was in his life for a little bit. All I got to do is say some shit, and he's worth so much that he'll pay to make it go away just to get at it, just not to hurt the brand. We just saw this happen with the Marvel guy.
Like it's almost giving like you don't believe women. I definitely think she went through this. Rich, powerful men do this to people. He does it to men. That's what I've been hearing. He does it to men just to be able to have something over them. He will, and that's actually who he prefers. That's why he had her fucking other men, because he was fucking them too.
Diddy gay? That's you're claiming Diddy gay?
In the closet. That's well known throughout Hollywood.
Okay.
He has cuddle parties where men like lay up.
Sure. And Richard Gere likes putting gophers up his ass too. While we're on it,
he groomed Usher. That's another thing that he's about to have to. He groomed Usher, and then Usher groomed Justin Bieber.
Like, what do you mean by when you say groomed?
Puffy was probably hanging out with Epstein. I wouldn't even be surprised. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we went right down the rabbit hole.
I can't agree on that because I used to work at Transcontinental Studios, which was the boy band factory of the like Backstreet, NSYNC, all that whole fucking. I used to work as an engineer there, and I would see the owner Lou Pearlman, who went to jail for a lot of shit. We'd go drop off tapes to his house, and you see like little boys in speedos, like the next boy band coming out, washing his car and cleaning the pool.
How do you not agree with me then?
Well, I didn't say I didn't agree with you. I just
you say it.
Like I would have to. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt that didn't happen because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And from the stories that I've heard and researched about him, I could see that happening too.
Puffy bought the dude who used to do Girls Gone Wild that had that his own pedophile island. Puffy bought that. Come on, y'all. Puffy ain't over.
No, he's
okay.
He's
whatever she said, and that's why he paid more than she asked for originally. $80 fucking million. Because he don't want what was really going on. Because I read the whole complaint. She didn't allege anything about the cuddle parties or his, trysts with men and possibly kids. Because Usher used to sleep in his bed when he was 10. So.
Does that mean we got to stop listening to Michael again? No more Michael Jackson?
Michael didn't do it.
Michael's innocent. Oh, okay. All right.
Michael is innocent.
It's nice how you can just build things the way that you want them to be.
Tell by their personality, like Michael would have done that.
Michael's on record. Michael admitted in an interview that he let little boys sleep in his bed with him.
He did let that, but I don't think he was touching them. He was like a big kid.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think he was messed up in the head.
He even impregnated his
well, yeah, that's questionable.
I know he even impregnated anybody. He probably he was like a Peter Pan. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And what did Peter Pan do? He hung out with a bunch of little boys. That's what I think all you have to do is look at Michael Jackson's childhood to know that it messed him up. And if it messed him up in a way that he's now attracted to little boys, I totally get it. He still needs to be punished, but I get how those dominoes fell and put him there mentally. It makes total sense to me. Diddy, I think if he did it, it's more of a power thing because he seems like a guy that really is addicted to power. He watched Scarface too many times.
That's what they said about his tryst with men is that it's more so that he can exert the power over them later because he's rich and powerful and
that's how he gets them into these contracts and it holds the contracts over their head.
And the artists are like now they're starting to learn. That's
why Biggie got iced out.
Well, it's the same thing with Cosby too. Cosby could have had any woman he wanted at those times. He was one of the most famous, most rich people in Hollywood. He could have had any woman he wanted, but it was about the power of it. It was about knocking him out and having total control.
One more thing about Puffy I wanted to say.
Sure.
He is also, there's that, killed his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend, his baby mama. That's what's like. So he has all these other things to worry about than cash.
Hearsay. It's all
You don't have
hearsay.
to take care of the kids now. She dead. Oh, okay. I see. No, it wasn't
All
child.
hearsay.
Money.
All of it is
Money
hearsay.
exerts power. He killed this. I mean, I listen to a lot of Gossip Girls. He done killed there was 5 people that started Bad Boy with him. 4 of them are dead. Only one still living is Albie Shore, and Albie Shore kind of thinks he killed Kim. And when he started talking about that, he ended up sick in the hospital. So I'm just saying, Puffy
So
is
Albie wasn't sure,
but he's still alive, right?
he didn't die. He didn't die.
No.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
close.
But Kimura,
Yeah, I'm sure if Puffy wanted to assassinate somebody, it would go, I'm sure it would just go poorly and the guy just recovers and it's no big deal. There ain't Vladimir Putin here. It's just a rich dude.
All right. So, speaking of bad boys, you got the badass governor in Louisiana who is talking about he is going to withhold funds for new water infrastructure until women who seek abortions are punished. Guys, who's to blame? How does this make it make sense?
I mean, everybody in Louisiana's to blame because why the hell would you live in that miserable ass hot state that's underwater anyways?
It's terrible.
So,
it is a terrible state. I'll give him that.
What are you talking?
The food's amazing.
The food,
but you don't need that. You can have a couple of cages make that food.
Every time I think about if I would move to New Orleans, it would be for the food. It would absolutely be so I can eat good and I'd be fat.
I mean, you can go there on a day vacation and fly out and not live
That's
there.
the only way I can do it.
You know who I'm going to blame on this one. Donald Trump. That's who I'm blaming.
I don't think I'd be happy. I'd be fucking tearing
I'm
gumbo, just all kind of oysters, and oh my god, I got to get back to New Orleans.
Well, I'm going to blame. I'm going to blame Donald Trump. I'm blaming Donald Trump on this because again, Donald Trump changed American politics. Hear me out. Donald Trump changed American politics and made it socially acceptable to subvert all of our systems of checks and balances and just force whatever opinions you believe in onto the people, regardless of the democratic process. And that's what we're going to see more and more as the years go by. We're going to see our we're going to see our levees being tested to see where the weak spots are. And that's just the way it is. Because I think it's so ironic that some of this money that he's withholding is to prevent lead from seeping into the drinking water, which is known to absolutely decimate the infant population. So you're making people have babies so that they don't want, and then in turn poisoning them with the lead the same way they did in Flint, Michigan. So now not only do you have to raise a child that you don't want, but you have to raise a mentally deficient child on top of it. It makes no sense to me, whatever. It's stupid political posturing for religious votes. That's all it is. And that comes from this pastor's son.
I wouldn't even say it started with Donald Trump. I'm going to go with the Tea Party.
Okay, yeah, they started the ember, but he fanned the flames.
Flash, what do you think?
I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it sucks that they're withholding funds because of something like that. I mean, honestly, I don't know why we're.
As a conservative, how do you feel about the abortion issue?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
we have too many weak ass kids in society, anyways. You know, fuck them bastards. I'm done with kids. So
more pets.
But saltwater steeping in, and Louisiana's not the only state that shit's happening to. It's gonna happen here real soon as well. But then you look at all the microplastics and all our liquids right now, and all the phthalates that we're getting poisoned with.
Preach.
It's like we're being poisoned beyond belief for big pharma to fix shit that we don't need to get fixed. We can just have good food, good water, and
I don't need to have insurance. Shit. Pharma ain't getting to me. No, I'm just kidding.
So, but it's I don't know. It's politics in general. It's ferocious.
It's gotten.
Super
bad. It's gotten.
I can't believe that you've. I can't believe that you've stuck in there, Flash. Because as I've said famously on this program many times, I was a conservative for more than 10 years. But about the time that the birther movement started, where they started saying Obama was born in Kenya and he was a secret Muslim implant into the government, and this and that. That's when I went, all right, I smelled the crazy, and I was like, all right, you guys are getting nuts. And that's when I left. And sure enough, I'm so glad I did, because if I
Dems are fucking crazy, and the libs can't agree on anything.
The real problem is
exactly
who are reasonable. There's not enough of them left voting in the primaries to keep y'all's politicians reasonable. Now, with the Democrats, they've got their issues, but nothing like someone that's trying to withhold water for everyone based upon putting women who have abortions in prison. That's wild. Why do you want to put them in prison now? Like,
because we have made it socially acceptable to govern based on religion, which is something our forefathers specifically told us not to do. And now, for some reason, we say, fine, as long as it's Christianity. Because if the Muslims try to govern based on religion and they do the Sharia law thing, oh my God, we're going to have to start a war over it.
They don't hate when Israel governs based on religion.
Exactly. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's the height of hypocrisy. You can govern on religion as long as it's the one I like.
Yeah.
Shit, my politics are all based on money. I like making money.
That's
old school.
So I'm just there for the money.
That's an old school Republican.
I'd rather us just still be arguing about money as the.
I know. Where are the old school Republicans that are like, fuck poor people. Let's build laws to help the rich. And if whatever happens to the poor, who gives a shit? I would beg to have Reagan back at this point.
Yes, that was so nice to have not worry about inflation and $12 eggs and
hey, listen,
wings.
You can blame that on Reagan. All right, he's the one that opened up the laws and deregulated so we could globalize.
Inflation was really high in the 70s. It was like 13%. It's like 3% now, and Republicans are like, inflation's a danger. No, it ain't no fucking danger. Shut up.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, that's why all of our manufacturing jobs went away, is because of Reagan. You know, that's why everything's made in China and India now, because he deregulated it. So, holla at you, boy.
Not made in China or India. Flash, right here. Flash, welcome to the program. We are done blaming. We want to get to know you a little bit.
Scary. That's scary.
It's all right. I won't let her hurt you. It's fine.
I've only been doing comedy a year and a half, but I've been in entertainment since I was 16.
Nice. How did you start in entertainment?
I kind of just started falling into things.
Mm-hmm.
So like, started getting like, hey, look, we need your look. You know, back then I was a swole wrestler. So, hey, we need a. I've always
TV
acted.
or okay,
TV
acting.
commercials. Like, we need a scumbag. Hey, call Flash. I was always the hired scumbag. And then through the 90s and amazing drugs, I fell into DJing, and you know, I turned into a touring house DJ and did a bunch of raves and washed myself out with a lot of drugs and lost all the money, and just kind of used that to. I've always been into fighting too. Like I grew up boxing, kickboxing from a wee little guy, and I've always done circles in my life, and this is like the first time I've done everything all together. Exclusively, I think that name was. I'm an idiot. Everything all together, whatever that word is, that's that word.
Sure.
Sure. Whatever it is. So like
at the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, so that's kind of how I got into entertainment, and then I've always had a thing where like I've always been a wise ass. You know, you grew up in a boxing and kickboxing.
I can tell that about you when I met you.
Shit talking. It's just like I've always had.
He's a Virgo.
I am a King Virgo, and she loves it. She loves my Virgo-ness.
I love giving him shit about it.
So you know, and I used to run corporate gyms, multi-million-dollar gyms. I was with UFC 24, all the big hub gyms, and it just towards it, like I think right after COVID, like 2 years ago, I just walked away from it because it was went from like getting people healthy and making right decisions, people to, hey, look, that person's here, she has money, let's get all her money. And hey, look, Aunt Joe over there, she wants to do Sew Sneakers, but you know, let's talk her into a membership of Sew PT. It's like, yo, like Like
capitalism.
Yeah, and
Fiscal conservative.
I love capitalism and the thing, but like if it comes down to helping people, I want to help people more.
You're conservative. I would want more conservatives to be like, if you have
Dankeschön.
stuff. That's awesome. So where did you get started doing comedy? How did you get into it?
I don't know how I like got into it.
Where was your first open mic? You don't remember?
Well, I did the class with Mike Panzica down in Dania.
Okay.
I don't know what sparked me to take the class. I don't know. I don't like it. Just kind of like, so I've always been a go with the flow kind of a guy where it's like, hey, look, this is things here, and I'm like, okay, cool, and then my brain kind of monetizes it somehow. I'm like, oh, I can make money doing this.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do it. So like, you know, so I always just kind of threw myself into the fire. I'm like, well, let me just be smart about this first before I eat a bunch of dicks on stage and you know, just get laughed out for the first 2 years. Let me just kind of figure out a formula and like how to write.
And that's what the class kind of guided you.
Kind of like, yeah, hey, look, this is, and I've had a very interesting life between, you know, the nightclub life, drug addiction, alcoholism, fighting. I've had a very wild life that I'm like, I can. Even people don't really understand half the shit I say, or can't relate to most of the things I've been through. It's it's fun to kind of like.
It sounds like you've lived a couple of lifetimes. Right?
I could die tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, I deserved it. Yeah,
I feel you, player.
Off, but I'm good. You know, I got 5% of it, so that's a passing grade on life. I got it. So like once I took the class, it's like, all right, cool, this is pretty dope. So I started hitting open mics. Riverside was probably the first mic I hit. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's good. And then, you know, being connected into the nightclub scene in South Florida, it's literally a phone call to get any venue for me. Yeah. Hey, look, you know, like the room I'm at tonight, Social Room in Hollywood.
That's what I noticed about you. You kind of hit the scene, and you had rooms pretty much right away. And I guess that's because of you already have ties with venues.
That, and I have I'm very business first kind of a guy where it's like, you know, if I say, hey, look, I'm going to do this, you know, it's going to get done. And, you know, it might take a couple of weeks to get up and running, but I'm going to get the thing up and running, and it's going to be a good show with a good experience. And I know how to get people out of the house into a venue. Yeah. Very easy. It was just a lot of hard work.
That's like half the battle when you are running.
And that's what I've noticed about like a lot of quote unquote show hosts out here. It's like, yeah, they're great comedians, but they can't get asses and seats.
Yeah,
you know, and it is hard, but at the same time, it's like it's not.
I couldn't imagine personally trying to run a show yet, because that would be my challenge, is getting asses in the seat. I have a open mic, and I know how to make comedians come. You know, they're gonna show up.
Oh, comedians are funny.
But are they gonna buy shit and make the venue feel like they want to keep going with it, or are they gonna be?
Nope. Nope.
This is the last open mic tonight. You know?
Yep.
So, all right. Since you've been doing comedy, what has become your favorite venue? And you can't say.
Can't say the Improvs. Too easy.
No, I honestly I love small tight rooms, because there's so much energy you can, like, I love big rooms, I love auditorium, I like big stages, but I like small tight rooms because it's like I can look at the person in the back of the room and say, okay, cool, I'm gonna try to connect to you tonight. Either I'm gonna piss you off or to make you laugh. One or two emotions I'm gonna pull out of you, but you're gonna have a good fucking time by the time I get done with you. Whereas big rooms, you can't, like, you got the first 5 or 6 rows and you can't interact.
Then you can't be working on engaging people.
It's like you can walk out on the stage and that's cool and all, but it's I like that feel of
the
just
intimate.
Everybody.
So what's your favorite room in South Florida?
Social Room Hollywood. That's my baby. But then
that's one of your rooms.
Yeah, it's
Social Room.
I've worked for that owner since he had nightclubs and the old Hard Rock, so I have a relationship with him, and then you know, just DJing there for the past like 6 years. It's that's my home. But like, I love the little tourist down like Coconut Grove because it's a small, tight room, and it's
the longest running open mic now. Yeah. Now that,
and it's rowdy. I like rowdy crowds. I love rowdy crowds because it's like, yeah, listen to me. I'm like, okay, make them. Figure out how to make them. Say something. Either you're gonna piss them off or they're gonna love you. And if either which way, they're watching you, and they're gonna talk about you, whether it's good or bad. They're talking about you, and that's all that fucking matters.
Have you had the pleasure of traveling doing comedy yet?
I've had Orlando. I got a couple. Orlando, Tampa, I've hit, and then I'll be in Colorado. I have a couple businesses in Colorado, so probably beginning of January, I got Longmont set up, Denver set up, But the upstairs the Scarlett's in Colorado.
Nice.
I got like 3-4 rooms set up. I'm in the cannabis and mushroom business up there, which is all big. So it's kind of like got a lot of connections.
Wait, mushrooms are legal in Colorado too now? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just legalized it in January. We have a small laboratory where we're probably putting out 75 to 100, and we're actually building a bigger grow, which is going to probably get about 1,500. And then from there, we got a bunch of wellness centers we're launching all around the state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, legalized or is it legalized or decriminalized?
So right now it's decriminalized, about to be legalized. They're just trying to figure out it's kind of like what cannabis was, 15 years ago when I
Right.
They kind of
Colorado's fun. I haven't gone up there for comedy, but I know it's just
huge
fun.
comedy scene. It's like a sleeper comedy scene.
Okay.
Oh, it's a great scene. I did one a couple years ago. I think it was 2021. I was up there.
Really good rooms up there.
I have to try to get back out there. Yeah, I went there and I smoked a lot of weed. I went for a wedding. I wasn't a comedian yet, so. Since you've been doing comedy, what's your proudest or most favorite moment?
I like.
Oh, deep thought on that one.
I like overcoming barriers. It's like I'm stuck with this one thing, and I can't figure it out. And then like the second you figure it out, it's like, oh shit.
Give me an example of when that's happened to you.
I'm not gonna say the improv.
You can talk about the improv now if that's where it happened.
No, it's just I'd say like one of my shows at Stash. When I was doing shows at Stash, I guess when you envision a show and you put that together, this lineup, and it's like, okay, this whole energy is gonna work. It's all over the place with energy and kind of laid back and smart ass and hoish, and like you have this whole conglomerate of just different energies kind of colliding together. Like this is gonna be a really fun show, or it's gonna be a fucking nightmare. And either which way, and then like, what show was it? Was I think?
And then when it's a good show, you're like,
when it lands,
I love.
Like, holy shit! I just fucking pulled this shit off. There's like 150 people in there, people I don't know.
Yeah.
That's heard about it from somebody that they do know, that know me or know of it. And then just everybody was tight, throwing bombs. And
yes.
Like it's like holy shit! Like it's like you get chilled
when everything falls together.
Like I'm all about energy. I'm all about energy from day one of everything I've done. It's like I gotta find an energy flow, and like once I hit that energy flow, it's like yes. So it's like when I put together something like that, and it's like it's locked in, and that energy is just through the roof. It's like holy shit! I just pulled this shit off. Wow.
I love that you're talking about
the second show I had there. Was
a year and a half in. That's a great feat because it takes maybe you start comedy first, like me, and you try to be a host and host. It's not gonna fall like that. It's gonna take a little bit longer to like learn how to. Classroom management is what I like to call it with comedy.
Kind of
you got to manage that crowd, you know.
I learned that from DJing. It's like all right, cool. Like you walk in, you're not gonna walk in, you're not gonna pay the bangers right up front.
Yeah,
it's gonna wash out the room, and then what are you gonna play at peak night? So it's like, okay, cool. Let's build the environment. That's why I like DJing into a comedy show. It's like I can control their emotions. Like, all right, cool. Sure. This crowd here is like this. Okay, I want to chill them out a little bit, get them relaxed, get them drinking, make it fun, conversational, and then let's hit them. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go first and do what I gotta do, and then I'm gonna build that ramp where it's like the first person. If I'm here, I want to bring the first person to here, and I'm gonna kind of hit that roller coaster ride with some dips. Same thing with DJing. It's like I'm gonna build them up, and then I'm gonna drop them back down. Yeah, and chill that atmosphere out. That way they're gonna hit the bar, they're gonna kind of relax a little bit, give them that little energy break, kind of like, all right, cool, and then like start hitting them in the face again, build them up. That's something I picked up. And once I picked it up, I related to everything. When I was fighting, it was the same kind of thing. It was like I had to find that energy flow. And like I know the guy's gonna come out and swinging hard and heavy. Okay, cool. Weather the storm out, chill his ass out a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the fucking taste to him. Yeah. And then really start getting them stressed out, and then start pulling them back a little bit. And then that's all from DJing. It's just learning how to control someone's emotion and energy.
But I think that's kind of happens. You pull on your other experiences. Like when I was started. I didn't really have the stage fright that you would normally get because I was a teacher, and kids are way more embarrassing to talk in front of than adults. and adults that are there to hear you make jokes. So I pulled from that. So let me ask you, what's been your biggest challenge as a comedian?
Writing.
Okay.
Writing.
That
I've
was
always,
quick.
I've always been a smart, like overly smart guy. Like I graduated high school 4.5. Got through a couple of years of college with barely studying, but then again, I was in reading class because I couldn't read good enough to be in college. But yet my maths was up there, my English, like everything was up except for reading, and then writing was, and it even today it's just like I write and I'm just, but it's a thing I've never worked on because I've never really had to work on it.
Yeah.
Going through school, it's just kind of like one of those naturally smart kids that didn't need to study because I just absorb shit.
I think the writing part, you just gotta, for me personally, I have to get out there and say it over and over and over, and then I'll get stuff to change it and tweak it. People give you advice, and then you'll get the joke kind of perfected to where you're like, there's still jokes like I still build on to this day. So the writing is always something that's going on, and as long as you write it, you perform it, you perform it, you tweak it, you perform it, revise it, and that's just a process, you know. But writing,
Oh yeah, writing, and I can't be by myself. It's like I can't be at home writing because I get too distracted. I'm just like a fucking like an ADD monster. I'm just like I gotta do something. But then I can come to a bar, have a glass of wine, I can sit there, I can write for hours and edit and keep going.
I can't do that. I have to be able to perform it that night. If I'm writing it, I got to be able to go up immediately, get it out, and then I can get it to where it takes about a week for me to get it to where it's like got a good punchline and this and that. But yeah, the writing.
That's where we're going to part company. I'm going to part company with both of you because for me it was always a more of a feeling or an argument. So I was never one to write it out ever. I would use the voice recorder on my phone and I would record it exactly the way I was thinking about it, exactly the way that way when I heard it back, I could hear the inflection, I could hear the kind of the emotion I was trying to have behind my argument because I thought it was an argument I was having with the audience. I was trying to prove my point. So usually if I wrote anything, it would just be one word or two words or just a generalized topic. And then like Gio said, I would just go on stage and just tell them basically how I feel. And then it would become, the structure would come from that. I would see which parts. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go in with a structure at all. But I would watch people and what they laughed at and what they kind of went, yeah, all right. And then I would remember that. And then right after I would perform it, I'd go off by myself and just kind of do it into my voice recorder again and try to change it a little bit like that. And by the way, shout out to Stash, by the way. You were talking about Stash earlier. I couldn't get in there, but I love Stash. It will always have a place in my heart. It was the first place I ever headlined and did like 45. And so I just remember that.
There when you came, or when you were still down here.
Julie Baez was running that room at the time. And and she booked me on my first headline set. And it was a great night and I loved it. And when you said Stash, you just warmed my heart because nobody's really brought that up on this show yet. So
yeah, no, I've done a lot of drugs in that building when it was the Edge back in the day. So like when I got that venue, I'm just like, I remember being in this room. I don't remember being in this room a lot of times, but I remember this room a lot. And it's always like that whole.
Well, I didn't do any hard drugs there, but I do know they have a killer old fashioned. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, are you ready to play the blame game?
Sure, I have no idea what I'm playing, but let's go.
That's the point. So I don't know what your name is, Flash. Who's to blame?
That's if I was religious, gods, but I was struck by lightning, so I earned that.
Your name Flash for real?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
So you just
I understand having a stage name.
Struck by lightning. Struck by lightning.
Change his name. Okay.
Hey, if you get struck by lightning and you want to change your name to Flash, I get it.
Terry Wayne ain't his name.
Nope.
And BlameGirl, believe it or not, is not my name, so I get it.
I thought you were Virgo Queen.
No. All right. Do you have anything you'd like to promote and give out your social media handles, please?
Tonight, Social Room Hollywood. at 7 o'clock, but we're not gonna start until 7:30, 8 o'clock because it is a high Latin area, so you know how Latins are when it comes to getting to shows on time.
Comedy shows don't ever start on
No.
time.
Well, no, I've never had a comedy show start on time, even when they were mine. So
Yes.
You be trying, but yeah,
doesn't happen.
not even at the Improv. I'm gonna tell you where they do start on time. Boca Black Box.
Yeah, I heard they're real strict.
That may
so
have something to do with the
DJ
owner.
Flash Comedy on Instagram.
DJ Flash Comedy on Instagram.
Flash Comedy Jam on Instagram.
Flash Comedy Jam on Instagram.
So High Comedy on Instagram. Those are my 3 shows. 2 shows.
So High Comedy on Instagram. All right.
SOHI. So High.
All right, Terry, do you have words for white people this week?
Oh, yes. We've got some words for white people this week, and it's specifically for the honkies because I'm seeing a major problem coming up this week. A lot of verbiage, a lot of dictator talk, a lot of authoritarian mentions. Hitler got a shout out with the whole getting rid of the vermin thing. And a lot of these stories coming out about if the GOP gets power again in 2024, about tens of millions of people in displacement camps, professional style displacement camps. And we know what that is. You know, that's illegal immigrants. So in light of all that, the word of the week for the honkies is burrito. We're going to talk about burritos this week. Okay. And the reason is I recently found a place in this small town that makes fantastic burritos. Some of the best I've ever had. But that's the thing about it is a burrito is the encompassment of all of its parts. If you changed any one of those parts of it, you would change the way it tastes, and I wouldn't like it as much. If you took out the peppers, I wouldn't like it as much. If you took out the beans, I wouldn't like it as much. If you took out the rice, I wouldn't like it as much. I only like it because it's all of those flavors that come together so great and mix so well, and that's America. So if the GOP and Donald Trump and all these other hard right wingers are trying to take away my onions and peppers, they're trying to take away my cilantro, they're trying to take away my cheese and toppings. You know what? A burrito with just white meat chicken in it tastes like shit. So if that's really what you want, well, I hope that you really want what you're going to get. And that is a bland, shitty, tasteless, unfeeling fucking burrito that's not going to satisfy you. So you want to pick your own tomatoes? Go right the fuck ahead. But I'm going to stand in the sideline and just watch you ruin things out of this desperate attempt to control your worlds. And I am not going to eat your burrito. So the minute that shit starts happening, hello, Europe, that's where we're going. You guys enjoy your empty burritos.
Terry Wayne said he like his burrito seasoned with some vegetables.
He likes a little color in his burrito.
Yeah, who doesn't? I
Yep.
agree. That's
or his burrito in some color. I think he wants his burrito in some color.
Yep. Well, my wife
burrito
is my wife is 1/8 black, so that's just enough. she's got a little bit of everything.
That gives you no clout, but okay, good.
I don't want any clout. I wouldn't ask to say the N-word, but I'm saying she got a little bit of everything, and that's what makes it good.
Would you like to promote anything, Terry?
Just like I said, we're working on the theater show up here in Nashville. So we're working that one out. I'll let you know when that gets a set date. And then you can buy the book, Unclaimed Ashes, on Amazon right now. And I'd like to see those sales numbers come up. So plan it out. It's only $15.
All right. And Flash Social Room tonight, 7, 8-ish. And me, I have O'Shea's. Funny Days at O'Shea's on Tuesday. That's me and Brian Drolet, friend of the show, new open mic. And that's in West Palm. So hopefully we'll see y'all there. Other than that, y'all have a good Thanksgiving. We'll be live next Sunday. Is that okay, Terry?
Oh yeah, and no, we can do it anytime, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, and cook something other than turkey for Thanksgiving. Okay, it's the most boring protein on earth. Make some nice.
Shut up. All right. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys.
All right. Thanks for coming, bud.